Kim also tries not to look at the pile of taped viscera on the carpet, or the weird suitcase on the hat rack. The man is finding it hard not to trip on the tape, and not to send any of the bottles rolling across the floor, where unidentifiable sludge makes it hard for him to breathe. Smells of vomit in here. He nods.
No problem, officer.
The door is closed. Still nothing. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance. The tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. Lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine. The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman. Fumes of heavy fuel oil waft over you, making your eyes sting. The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. A large metal pendant hangs from the rear view mirror. It is the seal of Royalist-era Revachol. The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep. Large at a book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front cover features a large, muscular man.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy. Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
There he is, in front of Rita, smoking nervously, hoping it's over.
Looking for something odd? Come to tell me to fuck off again? Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation. The strike? Oh, they've been at it for a while. A month, 2 months maybe. But apples?
Apples is exactly the kind of thing you'd say if you had something to hide.
Look, as detective, I come from a long line of I'm here to pick up a load of fucking apples, man.
Koiko may be another derogative for a person from Grad, you think?
Yeah, it's one of their main exports. They grow him down South Yekokata.
In fact, Yekokata is a desolate wasteland whose name literally translates to Zone of Ecological
Yeah? Says who? Then, I guess they grow apples somewhere else. You can never really tell with those koikos. They're everywhere.
He means the people living in Grad.
Yeah, you know, Gradniks, Gradvolk. Those degenerates from Grad. Cause that's what they're all called. Koiko Pichik, Loslav Koiko, Koikovic, someone. Hey, if the name and description fit by the very grace of nature, did you miss the part where I said they aren't here yet? Besides, even if I did have some, I wouldn't go putting my nose in them, huh?
Relax. You've got all you can get here. He probably doesn't even know what he's hauling, even if it is something unsavory.
Oh yeah, they're a big deal. My great-grandfather was a carter, had a royal license and everything. We've tried to hold someone with a cart. What did you think it was? That sure fucking is. We have a guild and everything, huh? Very goddamn right. They've been trying to fuck us up. Trusting street thugs with their goods is going to fuck them right up the ass. Mark my words. Generations of drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body. You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here, and then they know they can't beat us in a fair fight. So they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage, racial economic. Not in, not out. I'll never...
So you're telling us that you don't know anything?
I don't know shit. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you. What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking on at night.
There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby.
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved this country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Wheeling in Rags. Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to.
If they were getting drunk inside the Whirling in Rags, how could they know who broke into the lorry?
What? Aren't we allowed to say that it's the kids who do all the stealing around here? That's not road to science, man. Isn't it obvious? Fucking Sealang, that beady-eyed South Samaran. He's a Samaran guy who likes to pretend he's some kind of businessman. Really, he just follows the smell. It smells like apricot and oil when you...
Yes, yes.
Looks like I offended your partner there. Too bad. Sealang's usually a little bit south of... His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood.
I wouldn't be so sure about it. Not until we've heard what...
Guess so.
Scab?
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us. Beats me. Somewhere in the ground, I think. Gotta be bloody stupid, freaking evil to scab. Or I guess, scared maybe. But scared of what? Of who? Personally, I'd rather beg than scab. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something. We've explained the matters, but they don't listen. This lot would be reasonable and go home if the big guy wasn't riling them up all the time. I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, "Let us cop for less money." Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the wild north? Come to see the strife? Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. Of course, Policia. It wasn't me. You can rule me out.
He didn't do it. It's the truth.
My friend, I respect the right to roam. The open range awaits. I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage.
If it's all so simple, why don't the strikebreakers just go up the stick?
I walk right past Measurehead and go in. Yeah, the 2.5-meter tall Semini supremacist there. Walk right past him, then press the button to unlock the door, then go past him again, and you enter the arbor through the office. Está. Don't worry, I'm sure it's not completely impossible. For example, you could convert to a Semini supremacist worldview. Or maybe it actually is completely impossible. Not yet, no. He's incredibly strong. Jean-Luc himself would say the philosophy has proven overly heroic for the scabs to convert to. Sure. Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
The coin lands into your hand as if it has always belonged there. The swallow returns.
Always glad to help out the RCM. Shame I can't do more. Things are meager at the moment due to, the winter's fat is slowly running out and all. Still better than scabbing though. Nothing to worry about really. The jam's a bit of a mess, cargo can't get in or out. The rationing is a bit stricter is all. I'm always glad to help out when possible. Not like these slithering scabs. Serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike too. Just can't break the...
Right to work! Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down. We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes. Couldn't handle us. Cause gives the workers strength, gives them power.
We have a right to work!
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence. Might be time. Don't let the fat bastards tread on you. Cops tend to side with the higher-ups, but you're essentially still workers. I don't trust cops, but I can see you understand the right to work! Right to work! Rights of people, rights of workers, to have gainful...
His manner of speaking is wooden, the tone of voice bland and uninspired. almost as if compiling replies from a set of learned phrases.
Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here. We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
So do we, Scab.
Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. I'm trying to meet their fat boss. I know nothing about a murder. Wouldn't put it past these harbor bugs. They'd do anything.
Right to work!
It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup. Open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity.
Let us work!
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get their act together, it beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights.
There's something odd in the way he carries himself. His set of clothing looks vaguely mismatched. His shirt is far too small and an unpleasantly tight fit, while the overalls, held up by a belt, seem to fit a man with... He ignores your question, choosing instead to turn to the emaciated workers, raising both fists in the... Silence is the answer. There's something off here, but he won't say what.
Honest men and women, with rights, to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If union fucks don't want work, they ought to...
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market. The rules...
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
What's it to you? Big mess, caused by union greed. But I only fight for the rights of people.
Every once in a while, it's like you can see glimpses of another guy under the guise of this fighter for jobs. He seems...
We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill. Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell? Uh-huh. It was a long time ago. We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates. Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open and try to get in through the secretary's office. Doors. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is. Huge Seminese guy standing up there on the overhead passage. Won't let anyone by. Bad. Standing on a narrow bridge, he's got a strategically advantageous position. I don't know how the Union has a trained killer up there. But that one's no joke, and my men are tired and hungry. Why don't you go arrest them instead? I'm sure they've done...
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now, if you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then we charge.
Still here, stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up? Ah, man, me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times, but those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man? Hey, man, that's serious criminal talk. Are you trying to pull some...
Entrapment is a practice whereby an officer of the law induces a person to commit a criminal offense that the person would have...
We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbor to load it on their lorry and drive it to Jammer.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration. Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions.
We wouldn't say he's lying, sire. There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes, smelling of strangers' body odors.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good quality fabrics, best retro design. Save the economy with your style, officer.
How about some premium class service over here? Save the economy? That sounds off.
Haven't you heard, officer? We've got to be economically conscious. Recycle your cash, keep it in circulation. Don't look around, officer. You see all these premium goods? Just, is this really the economy we want to leave to our children? That's the spirit. We've all got to do our part. Your part is to open...
You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird... The box smells like cat piss. Or like an old person.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first-hand, buy second-hand. Keep the economy moving.
Something cold grazes your hand. Synthetic and sleek. A windbreaker. Surf, it says.
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's only $4.50 for you, sir.
You see two lowly, defeated speakers, thralls, slaves.
I can see you've a taste for luxury, officer.
Speaking of luxury, you should go over and ask about paying for those sneakers with your net worth. A pair of Faun Ultras. The design is impossible.
Those sneakers, mister. Those sneakers are the latest.
Only? That's mad. Faun Ultra. Wear the future. You remember the slogan from some magazine. These once respectable speakers have been conquered. With a small heat emboss on the veneer reads, Solidarity Aid from...
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The sneakers are the stars here. No, don't pity them, officer. These are old Samaran...
Samaran trash. That sounds like they're from the Samaran People's Republic, produced under the dictatorship of the proletariat.
No way, officer! These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Low-fi socialist junk. Well, if you want them... But see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go of the speakers, where will the sneak... If, on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too...
Damn. So you have to buy the sneakers first. There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in
You like sunglasses, officer?
stylish shades, huh? They'd be even more stylish if abort. These are hideous. What's more, they don't.
Damn, officer! You look like a mega secret spy!
It's going to be very difficult for any.
No, you are definitely not buying those.
Are you sure? But they look so good!
These are all boring. Those UV stickers are almost certainly just there for the show. If anything, these
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, superb material, very cool. UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe and cool while Oh, very interesting choice, officer. Very high culture.
This is how a sea monster sees the world. You've become a sea monster, all right. But these actually make your vision.
Wow, officer. You look so cool. And they can be yours for a mere 3 real. My regular customers have passed them all up because they've...
The lieutenant tilts his head and steps back, eyes narrowed in a thorough.
You look like a musician. Like a blind musician. But you could do worse. Take them if you want.
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by the name Sileng is embroidered.
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's cool. Everything's cool. The goods are... You're very cool. Bang, 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 bang.
You feel a twitch in your index fingers. There's a finger shootout brewing.
Don't shoot, officer. Have we got an arrest here or just a shakedown? Good one, officer. You're a funny guy. Now, what can I do for you?
He does not need your money. Please disregard that. We're just here to ask some questions.
Of course. Fire away. Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now.
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samaran Isola. Apricot Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized by Revachol. It's a bit of a slur, in other words.
Very cool. I admire your awareness of our intertwined histories. It's super nice of you to apologize for colonialism, but the Apricot Suzerainty is a shithole. That's why I left. If you say so, officer, I don't worry too much about politics. I'm an entrepreneur, you know. Whatever's good for business is good for me. Drugs? I don't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin lives. Unless you're into drugs, of course. In which case, drugs are excellent. Mwah! Tasty, tasty drugs. That's very cool. A lot of the coolest detectives do drugs.
Sir, it appears to be true. No drugs in sight. Not in the box of some...
That's cool. Especially after you already said you're into them. All the coolest detectives in the movie. That's even cooler. You investigating that and all. But, I am not a lorry driver.
A blatant lie, sire. Yet he tells it with such conviction. We'd believe him if we didn't know better.
Who said that? It's the fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm an immigrant.
So you admit you're a lorry driver?
No, I just said I work harder and he's an asshole. I'm...
Realizing he can't get out of it. Smart man.
Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little. But that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream. Exactly! It's such a small part of my life. It's in the rear view mirror now. I'm climbing out of that hole with ingenuity. Nothing. I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't get involved with that crowd.
And what crowd is that?
Crowd! You know, the drug crowd?
No, he wasn't talking about an abstract crowd. It was that crowd.
Shush, please. There's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please, don't get me into this mess. I spent 15 years working my way up.
Here we go. There's a tiny bit of truth on the table. Zoom in on it.
It's a she, okay? The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her, she's no lady.
Interesting. Could this driver be connected to the Hardy Boys?
I don't know. Maybe. If she is, I haven't gone near her.
He's not ruling her out.
All of them. I don't know.
Who exactly is talking about this lady driver of yours?
All of them. Even the ones who've left. I don't hang out with them. I don't remember who has tattoos. I don't know. I'm not local. I don't know anything about... All right. I scored. Let's cap this off with a purchase. You can walk away from here with funky sunglasses, detective. Both of you. You deserve it.
Start with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business.
Oh, okay.
After all this mess, the broken...
An investment? What kind of investment? Ha! That! You drive a hard bargain, officer. I respect that. Okay. What's it going to cost me? Be reasonable. Sounds like a fair deal all around.
Corruption.
The woman still has her eyes fixed on the photograph in her hands, in the...
If you want her attention, you may need to be more forceful.
Where am I? Who are you? Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s. The men have the small jaws and everything is made out of plastic. Why do you need plastic when you can make the world out of amber? Back in Mecca, during the time of the revolution, the side walls and cafes are filled with a... Until you came along, that is. This is Gabriel Buenguerro.
A strikingly handsome man looks straight at you, his head crowned with a wide-brim hat.
He was the biggest star of his day. Girls used to faint in the aisles of cinema whenever...
In all likelihood, it's a world that's only ever existed in her mind.
Someone was. They are someone's memories, boy. What difference does it make if it's me or not? They're beautiful. That is all that matters. Beautiful and true.
All of what? The world? The present?
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, Loman. It was early spring, and the mind behind... While you, people, were tearing each other apart over...
The Republic of Mesk is a massive confederation on the Isola of Muindi, the world's largest state.
Why not, Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole. Diamonds. Of course not. But wouldn't it be... Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine. I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean. Then it's contraband, Loman. What? Do you want to take a...
Bad Hand, Hermenegildos's bad hand, strangled 300 people.
Of course not. To truly understand...
The Boyadero, Boya for short, is a cowherder from upstream Magritte.
It's an old ballad about a young girl who falls in love with a daring boyadero. Of course not. The boyadero returns from the western plain a changed man.
In the background, you can hear the orchestra swell as the screen...
So the boyadero strangles his beloved and throws her body in the Magritte. Then he rides off. You have to understand. A true boyadero needs a whole horizon to himself. He can't be tied down by man. Did you just call me a lady, Herife?
The woman's malevolent cackling fills the roundabout.
I'm a lady like you are, Gabriel Buenguerro. Only in dreams. I'm only terrifying to small children.
Yeah, it's not her. Believe me.
Because they can no longer recognize the person I once was. How should I know? Do I look like I spent a lot of time with the other communers? Oh, Sim.
She's just a distracted old woman.
So he doesn't think she's the lady...
You hear that, Loman? I don't think your partner likes you spending too much time with me.
Nothing. I just don't think she...
He doesn't want your frail mind caught up in something here. Something unconnected to the cat.
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm one of the best communers around. Lomonosov's Land, Udashnaya Zemlya, the Transcatolia Magistral. You for 1A. Adestradas du Mirador. All the good ones. You're right, Loman. I'm the one who should...
A correct appraisal.
Is that all you woke me up to say? What do I need drugs for, Loman? What I see? What I feel? Yes. There is a protagonista and an adversario. I am...
Those epithets are familiar somehow. The great adversary. The great unrest.
Then what were you getting at?
Maybe if she thought you're corrupt.
You're mad, Loman. What of it? Maybe. Probably not. Makes no difference to me either way. Just this month, I made half a dozen trips from Saramiriza to Grad. The U41A. What do you think? It's diamonds, Loman, obviously. Diamonds are good for you, Loman. You should try them sometime. Make yourself pretty like Eva de Zoras. Easy. It's the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet. Also, he's the only one I can see from here.
That's correct. There is no visibility of any of the others.
Where do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. Or I can just relax and...
I think we're done here, no?
Yes, go. Enough jump.
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up? I don't want to talk about that. Man, I was hoping it isn't going to be her. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker. And I don't know where she is. I didn't, man. I told you, I was hoping...
It's true. We would have caught a lie. Bah. Emotional rhetoric. He knew something and he didn't share it with you.
Thank God I don't know. People here call her the Lady Driver. She kept her name a secret. From me, too. A friend? An acquaintance. I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. A youngish woman. Gruff.
What color hair?
Blue and violet. Died. It was violet when she...
Then she may have dyed it again.
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did...
We can't just...
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation.
It won't come to that. We won't...
I don't believe you. She's got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness when you think it's all over.
She shared?
Yes. Which is why I don't want to snitch on her. It's snitching, man. I know what it is. I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me too.
Did this violent life include...
Well, it looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? The way it worked. The trouble it was giving her. Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand...
He's right. There are other options. The raceman... Wait, this guy says they're friends. Then, acquaintances. And he's okay with others ratting her out.
Fine. I don't want to be a butcher. And I don't want to be a knight either. I just want to be a person who can sleep at night. A little fame wouldn't hurt too. You're not going to put a bullet in your head if you blow it, are you? Because she's on the edge, man. I thought you were a different kind of cop. Here.
The keys to a motor lorry. Pretty complex.
Her lorry's still here. Down past the Statue of Philippe. The cabin is green. You can get in there with these. That's all I know.
When did she leave?
Last Friday. No. I don't know. She left them to me. Because she trusted me.
The other drivers would have to tow it or break in.
If they break in, they would find what's hidden inside. Something incriminating.
I bet you are. Nah. I need to think my own thoughts now.
This green found, A to Z, Contemporain, is parked in the shadow of the ruin.
This is the one our man pointed to.
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You push the key into the lock and turn. The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters, actresses. There's something odd about the passenger seat. The seating fabric has been pulled tight over the lower side of the seat where the toolbox should be. These are movie posters featuring starlets from long forgotten. One of them particularly catches your eye. There's definitely perfume in the air. It's spicy, the remnants of a sweet juniper-scented perfume. Probably grenade. The actress is draped in a sheath dress. This is Tijon, a starlet from the dawn of cinematography. She wasted away in a drug den called The Door to the River. Not far from here, on book, the actresses and the rear actor, all smiley. Looks like the frequency dial is absent.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here.
It has to be an advanced model to fit so many frequencies next to each other without blending them together.
No, that's on 78.9. What? I happen to have committed the frequency to memory. I have no problem admitting that. For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organization at...
A 20-kilometer radius at least, perhaps extended by an attachable antenna.
Doesn't look like it. No, that's on 7... What? I happen to have...
The ghostly actresses. You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. See, but one odd detail does. Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Sandpaper? A novel technique? Yes? Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching. Now we know for certain who is the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation? We should talk with Titus, see what he's got to say on the matter. Are we finished with the lorry?
The movie stars are still... Voila! A stack of neatly folded papers has been stashed behind the seating fabric.
Bonne prise.
This large map displays the elevated motorway called toll booths at the intakes are marked with a circle. It looked there. Hundreds of thousands of motor carriages roar on the 881. High above the massive Tukuron, through the middle-income neighborhoods there, by the river. This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system of storm. The final map displays a labyrinth of service. These service tunnels were probably... Looks like the smugglers have infiltrated the road network below.
So it would seem. The RCM patrols most of these auxiliary roads, though apparently not all of them. Hard to say. This distribution network looks certainly large, yet still vague enough. It doesn't reveal much about the Besmerti behind it. The Besmerti is a Revacholian crime syndicate. They see themselves as the inheritors of the 14 Revacholian Indo-tribes, but really with cool names like La Puta Madre and Ahura Mazda. It's a dark parody. It's definitely not the Union. They just do some logistics. This operation has spread everywhere. Here's bad news. There have been attempts at a serious investigation before, but they... Best not to disturb the scene. I'll have for...
The stack of maps looks just like before, barely noticeable. The movie stars look silently by, and the pull-out toolbox has a metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's an issue of Peripherique. It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast mag.
The Uland frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
It's an issue of It looks like an article of...
The Uland frequency system?
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The rest is as it closed the rusty old lorry.
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce? All right, we've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found. Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter.
This means it's well funded. Technology like that, a major player must...
I'm not sure what the Uland frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps... Oh, and the maps we found. They reveal the geographical extent of the operation. And last but not least, it looks like the Hardy boys knew this driver, as we know that she was present at the lynching. This may be the Union connection we've been searching for. As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade. Yes, well... Like Joyce told us, yes, logistically. But don't expect to bust this open during our stay here. At best, this is an angle we can use against them, to other hands, as extra ammunition.
Meaning, someone as slippery as Everard won't be caught by a couple of cops and some stuff they found in some cabin.
We should return to the murder case, see what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and said there are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation. Sometime later, when... The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madre grouping is involved, and... All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either. Debrief over. After...
The afternoon sun shimmers off the white on blue police livery of the motor carriage. Do something important? Something murder-related? This is a Caprice Canema, the Caprice Motor Corps follow-up to their highly successful with its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine, driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox. The Canema is able to reach 100 kilometers per hour. The high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin. Due to a quite steep price tag, it is very unusual to see one in police livery.
You want to take a closer look? 130.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there. Man, that's got to be a major advancement over the KR-18GU engine.
7.2. Supercharged. Yes, an extraordinary machine.
It's nice and all, but why so modest? Put some zing into it. Helium headlights would improve the range and quality of the visual field a lot.
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring for the ballast. Maybe. Yes, definitely maybe.
And means no.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here. What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy Boy, there's 7 of us and we're... Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy Boy? We ain't hiring.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could...
She? So there's an 8th Hardy, and it's a Hardy girl? Who might it be? Elizabeth?
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here.
It has to be good, if he won't let you pursue it. Looks like the lieutenant.
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy Boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about...
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy. You're not cops here. Don't go digging around.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
Like hell you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how...
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move raw ingredients for drugs? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. Detective.
The thought forms in your head, like a lightning strike branching in the sky.
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runts on the street.
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course. Boo fucking who. People will always be.
Yeah, that's what the labor movement is all about.
Theoretically, of course. We're just talking politics here.
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8 sets of prints on the crime scene. There are only 7 hard...
My answer is... fuck off. Mind...
And here we go. Back to the usual.
I know! Fatty walked on all 4s. He's so fucking fat, he left 2 sets of
Despite everything, the little...
Go fuck your mom, Dennis.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all 4s. Anything else you need to know? I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time? I am not.
You could be, Liz. You could be anything.
Even a mod? Glenn.
He's right. With a face like that, she could be on the cover of Le Debutante International. The cold look in her eyes speaks louder than... It's not her. She's not a hardy girl. Definitely. There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated. Ha ha ha! Again, the corpse laughs at you, pus dripping from its mouth. You will never be able to hold it in. It's always... Every time it happens, it gets worse and worse. There's nothing more to throw up now. All that's left is crying and convulsing dryly at the same time.
I'm at a loss as well. I could...
Sometimes even that is not...
Officer, you just need to be stronger.
You can open this white check again by going to your character sheet and spending a skill point to upgrade your endurance. Gain new skill points by exploring and completing side tasks.
Maybe it's okay if you don't make it today. The dead man isn't going anywhere. And there's always others. As you breathe in, the odor comes over you. It's a spell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty. It's a puzzle. What's hanging in front of you is a puzzle of decaying flesh, tattoos, and tendons.
They do after 7 days, yes.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enamel boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins, and blotched by lividity. The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee, delicate and fragile. They feel alien. These are clearly not boots. They're armor, possibly part of a lot.
Indeed. Technically speaking, these are sabatons.
Oh, the lieutenant uses a memo technique, A6. That's not just any note. It's clearly some manner of super armor, or future armor.
Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. Under the heel. Fair weather. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous. Piece by piece. He's been out here for 7 days. It would be odd if they did. We should keep a lookout for these species. The armor could yield information. This is one thing he might actually know. No, I think he had something precious underneath the clothes. They had to remove the jeans and shirt we found to get to it. And this kind of armor is often worn under fabrics.
Nice. That makes sense.
They usually hang them completely naked for that. La puta...
Fucking talk!
Clearly, Kuno would like to interject something here, but there's not enough for him to hold on to.
It is. It's expensive. We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. For a full set...
For the northwest region of Revachol, an officer's average yearly income is 5,500 real, unadjusted for rank.
Not too much, yes. It's a sorry situation, I agree. That's for us to find out. Mr. Gart implied he was security personnel for the harbor company. This confirms my own assumptions. Just something I scraped together from my station. An area report on Martinez. I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
A small bell-like sound fills the air.
It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It's...
Faint, organic lines cover the plates, where they separate into smaller ones, like whirls of floorboards. The design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood material. If trees were made of porcelain, this is what their cross-sections would... The smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate... The whirls are in the shape of a letter and number combination. E50, 100, 1000.
Good. Can you read it to me?
X5415 6745 678 222. Let's lie.
That doesn't sound like a serial number. Where's the structure and logic of a line of manufacture?
True. It didn't have the cadence and logic of a real manufactured item.
Officer, the decomposing corpse has temporarily suspended my... We have a make and a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station can chase it for us.
The stench fills your nostrils. As you...
Stop! Pig's gonna pull his head...
Brutal!
You're going to pull his head off.
Do it, homo!
Yes, that's what I said. You'll compromise the crew.
Indeed. From this angle, it does look like the neck isn't going to...
What are you trying to achieve anyway? Why are you hanging on to that boot? How many clothes do you need? You already found a number. There's no way you're getting them off. All the organic matter in his body has been flowing down in...
You're sure there's a way to peel them off? But first, the body needs to be down. And second, it would probably be better if the lieutenant wasn't around. The anticipation makes you crack your fingers. Feels nice. Nice and cracky.
Processing will take care of them. With the situation in the morgue, it will yield nothing. But we must pick our fight.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos, and the hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. This is a steel-reinforced cargo lashing belt, big brother of the regular cargo.
Airlifting. I thought it was used on lorries for strapping cargo to them. The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they use whatever was on hand, without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves. I'm still approaching this as a lynching, yes, motivated by the ongoing strike. You? Yes, it often is. This bell worries me. I was afraid it would be. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed. A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around. That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt to close the buckle.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory. The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect,
a map of the stars. I do see some similarity to astronomical charts. Great century
as if someone left out most of the night sky, filtering it through personal choice. The principle of this filter remains
So am I.
He wears a wide leather belt around his waist and a gun holster under his arm. He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed.
A Trigger Sunshine Mini.
Triggered is the world's leading manufacturer of intercommunication devices.
Shit, Kuno! What the f—
An instant color camera. I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of...
In case we need it. Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
There is only one ampoule left. Use it wisely.
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter, to us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around. Sure, just don't lose it.
The glassy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding comically from their sockets. These eyes used to be blue. Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unrecognizable mess.
Good. The victim is of Occidental descent. Light brown hair, blue eyes.
When he says Occidental, he means white. Originally from the Occidental subcontinent on Muindi.
I'm gone. I'm a joke. Look at me. A killer. A motherfucker. And a killer. Go ahead, Cobbo. Into the wild pale yonder, in the past, way out in the west. What do you mean? It's the power of you mad. Go ahead, ask me more questions. Because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them go. Here you go, you loony. Fuck no. You're no Rooney. Between you and me, your name is probably... You might be onto something there. Because you have. Because you're a coming right up, copper. Love did me in, Brother Copo. It was love all along. Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Looking at my face, motionless. Looking into my eyes. Standing here. Why are you investigating my murder? I am all you have. Then you truly lost it all, brother. Let the world drag it all away from you. And what it left, you pissed away. Do I remind you of something?
A child born with Muller's disease, harlequinism, grown up miraculously.
You sure got out of that one, Coppellini. Come back later, Corpo.
As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs. This is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse has been tampered with. Does his position... Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears...
I see it. His neck too. The lividity goes right up his chin.
The monster comes back into focus. An explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins.
So, what do you think?
A pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half...
The fuck are you saying?
Talking about shit.
Maybe. Agreed. Especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis supports a hanging.
You would still like the hypostasis marks in the neck to be a bit more pronounced.
Maybe it looks faint to you? It could be more pronounced, actually. Dûment noté. There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first.
His personality...
Totally dead. That sounds about right, yes. I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made out...
Stop talking and rid...
He means you fucked him up good, Kuno! Fucked him up brute!
But there is no breath to catch.
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's done.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos.
Of course. You have questions. Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my...
The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but
He doesn't actually think the challenge is unique. He thinks it's...
The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even... Someone else? You mean...
What was that about processing, then? Weren't they supposed to take care of the boots? Why don't they help?
No. Think of the boys from processing as murderers. Only instead of people, they murder crime scenes. Processing is a... I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't come to help us. And we have a growing sanitary concern here. We need to get him down. Climb up there and... There has to be a less risky way, with less falling down of trees. We are not getting him down already. Not getting him down is a task that's already...
How do you plan to get him down, then? With social sensibility?
Yeah! Bang bang time, pig! Shoot his head off!
How?
Where the buckle ties the rope to the branch. That's a good spot to aim.
Where? Ah, yes.
Yeah, now we're talking.
They'll miss! The pigs will miss, Kuno!
I'll blow his head off.
Take it!
Yeah, take the shot.
Silence. With... and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks, securing it in place. That's a Kiel A9090 armistice. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches.
He's gonna fucking miss!
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surround.
God damn it.
A lot of things were wrong with that shot. The fellow's desk was the wrong choice. His shoulders were raised, but...
Fucking idiot!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he? Kuno's sorry too. Kuno feels sorry for the Beano class.
The lieutenant doesn't say a word, just looks at the gun.
Remain collegial, officer. It was an honest mistake. No, we are lucky as it is. We didn't break... Any more mistakes could put us in an unfortunate position with the locals. I have to say, it's beginning to look...
You know, you don't feel like too bad of a shot yourself.
It's bad as it is. Us shooting firearms. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you.
This is the sorriest pair of...
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana pointer! Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth!
The cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. You've held this. An A9 armistice.
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno?
The buckle comes into focus in your sights.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss.
Your field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves. The slow movement of the branch in the wind, and your shoulders direct.
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now, fucking fucking faggot. Do it! Set me free!
Don't.
Do it!
Intense shit, copper.
Could waved his gun! It wasn't intense, it was pathetic!
Your field of the slow movement of the branch.
Look, he's crying! You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty? Or what? You gonna fuck me? You wanna fuck me, pig? Is that what this is about?
A plume of smoke erupts from the barrel. Your hand goes numb from the explosion. You missed the belt, but hit the corpse straight in the chest. Bits of ribcage protrude from the skin. No.
Oh my god, he's gonna fucking cry! I knew it! What?
Ask for another shot. You'll get it with the next one. The goddamn light reflected off some window. Surely.
The cadaver is already compromised.
It came out wrong. You made it sound like you're some sort of roulette. There.
Victor Bauer wants to fuck up again bad! It's the song of my...
Don't provoke her.
Shot him in the chest! What a fucking...
It's not the gun's fault you can't.
Pigs don't have hands, they have...
Kuno has hands. Kuno can shoot that shit down for you.
Cop's bitter because he fucked that corpse up, Kuno.
We still need to get him down, somehow. The bad way. The way I didn't want us to. By asking the Harbor for help. They have the tools and the men. To ask the suspects for help with the victim's body? To be indebted to Evrard Clare? Clearly we...
Suck my dick, bitches!
From the gates, by negotiating or fighting. I'm unenthusiastic about fighting.
To the gates. Let's negotiate.
He's a dangerous and corrupt man.
Yeah? Don't go being someone else.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question. Better not tie the fourth day to the bat's day on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with. Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered? It doesn't really matter, and I do apologize.
One of the tall buildings overlooking the roundabout, most likely.
In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask...
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing...
Of course, detectives. In any case, I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on... Yes. I'm afraid this...
Since you are sharing, man, this is also the RC...
Then we're on the same page. As grim as... I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military They were dispatched after I relayed...
Every worker
a member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the who. Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, they wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night. Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry... It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal.
What is the nature of this?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants. It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good, and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
The débardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
The Serai's giant hornet, the world's 2nd largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than...
These men work in tandem using semi- and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't...
The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every 1 or 2 shots. The automatics every 1 or 2.
As I said, a bloodbath. Too many things have already gone wrong. Nameless, badgeless, detective of the citizen. All we can do is keep that which is not from following suit. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation. Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far